Thanks for checking out our channel here. This is going to be, I don't know, show you how to make one, or if you got a low bar that needs a new connector put on it, and you don't have time to wait for a like ship the low bar here and me fix the cable and send it back. We're going to show you, you can buy a pigtail from us. For for Gallagher low bars and Tru-Test low bars. The only thing we would have to know up front would be what low bar do you have, because the wiring is similar to all of them, but there's a little difference between all of them as well. There's different resistors, there's different wire combinations on different connectors. So we're going to show you how to do that. So we've got two different websites if you want to check us out online. We've got our electric fence repair website, which is our electric fencer repair, whatever you want to call it, fencerfixer.com, and our cattle scales and low bars and repairs on that stuff is right there, cattlescalerepair.com is our address. But customer got a hold of me and sent me some pictures and stuff like that. He had a Tru-Test low bar MP600 low bar, those little platform alleyway type low bars that go underneath those aluminum platforms. And I don't remember, I think the cord got hung up and something tripped over it, yanked that cable and basically pulled the connector all apart, pulled the cable out of the connector. And the factory connectors, you can't take apart. You take the bottom of it apart, like down here. You take this part of it off, but the inner part, like where it locks together right here, you can't pull that apart because they epoxy and glue those things together. So you'll end up breaking the connector anyways, trying to get it apart. So he didn't have time to wait on sending the low bar here and me fixing it, putting a new connector on his bar. So he said, well, can you just make me up a little pigtail with about a foot long length of cable, and then I'll just put it together there. I said, yeah, I can do that. What I would do is, like, so we're going to give him about a foot or so, and he's going to strip it back here a little bit. If I was doing it in the field, what I would do if you were going to splice it back together, don't use butt connectors and electrical tape. I mean, it works temporarily for a little while, but those animals bounce around, a lot of movement going on, urine and manure flopping all over the place and different things. You'll risk of corrosion getting into the connector, making bad connections and wiggling the wire around and stuff like that. That eventually is going to make the connection no good, and then you're back to having to cut it back, resplice it. So I told the guy you need to solder and heat shrink each wire individually, color to color. So solder all of them, heat shrink all of them individually, then heat shrink the whole entire tube, or whole entire section as well. So that way it's a good metal to metal connection. So he said, yeah, I think I can handle that. So that's what he's going to do. So we're going to put this connector together halfway like this. And I'm just going to kind of tighten it up on itself a little bit, so that way the connector stays where it's supposed to. And then we're going to get the new connector, and I'm going to solder it up for the guy. I'm going to make him two of them. He only needs one, but he wants a second one for a rainy day spare, so we're going to make up two. In this video, I'm only going to do one, because once you do one, you've done two, sort of thing. So first thing I'm going to do is I need to cut this outer shielding insulation around this cable to get to the 4 wires on the inside. And be kind of careful, because I don't want to cut too deep and then end up cutting the wire on the inside. And if you're capable of doing the soldering it back together, wire to wire, when you go to do the splice, I'd be happy to make you a pigtail. I can make it 6 inches or a foot. I would probably just do a foot. That way you got a little room a little extra to work with in case you mess up. You can cut it off and start over again. You don't want to have like, oh, I only need 6 inches, and then you mess up and you got to cut off a couple inches, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm only down to 4 inches of cable left. So I would probably do a foot. But we can make it long. We can make the cable as long as you want. All right, where's my wire strippers? I don't know where they're hiding at. I don't know. All right, we'll just use this. So I'm gonna cut off just a little bit back here. probably trim some of this off. Now I'm going to twist them up. About how much I want sticking out of there. I mean, I'm probably going to trim up some of this. I'm going to solder them first. I'm going to put solder on each one of these wires. And then I'm going to probably trim it back to about half that length of copper that's sticking out. And then we're going to solder them in here. So let me grab a solder. Let's see. I'm looking for my third hand deal that helps hold stuff, and I don't know. There's my wire strippers on the floor. I don't know where I have a nice third hand helper thing sitting over here somewhere, but in all this chaotic mess I've got laying around, crap everywhere, it's hard to find anything, so. All right. Come on. Oh, jeez. So I'm going to get each one of them covered up in solder. Come on. Oh, God damn, it gets hot. All right, move on to the next wire. Come on, heat up. There it goes. Alright, do the last wire here. This is probably the longest part of it, is this. The rest of it's not too bad. Come on. Heat up. Get some of that. I'm not trying to paintbrush it, I'm trying to rub off some of the extra, because those little holes on the connector are only so big, so if you get too thick of solder builds up on there, it won't go in the hole very easily. I think that'll be okay. Alright, so I'm going to snip off some of it, so I don't need them that long. Should be good. Alright, so now I need to get, there's a resistor that goes inside this particular connector for this low bar. Cut that to length, and then we got to put the resistor in the correct pins. Let's put these two right here, and then we're going to solder these in. And while we're soldering those in, we're going to add solder to the other 4 pins that require the wires to be in there. So we're going to do all that at the same time we're doing these. Resistor soldered in these 2 little pins here. Alright, let's see. Where am I? 1, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's and 1 over here. All right. Oops. Now, let's see. Now we got to put each of these colored wires into the particular pin on here. All right. So we're going to go this wire first. Heat up that. Shove the wire on it, solder on it, heat the 2 together, let it cool off and harden. 1 wire's done, and we'll move the second one. Hold on, there's a piece of strand of wire that's poking up. Get rid of it. There it is. It's gone. Alright, go to the next one. It's hot. Alright, next wire. Hold on. Can't keep holding those, they're getting too darn hot. Push this wire through to the back side and do it right here. I'll solder to that. Hot. So that's what it looks like when it's all soldered on there. Then we'll take this, slide this up first, and I don't tighten this up here until after I tighten this up here, because you want this wire to be able to freely move around before I tighten it up, because you don't want to tighten it up down here before you do here, then this thing's holding this wire so tight, so as you tighten this up, it twists and breaks a wire or something silly. So I need a couple pair of pliers. Grab right there. You won't have, if you want one of these cables and connectors put together like this, you won't have to do all this. I'll make them up like I'm doing here. So all you have to do is just do your splice down in here to your cable. So as you turn this wire will spin. So it's still nice and straight. Alright, so I'm going to take the bottom of the connector, and there's a little rubber grommet bushing thingamajig. It goes up inside here. And that's what helps. It fattens up around there and helps seal off and hold that cable in place. So make sure all the wires are up inside. They're not exposed coming out. That's why you can only cut back this black stuff so much, because if you cut it back too far, it starts sticking out of here, and then you just, defeating the purpose a little bit, and we're risking something getting inside or coming loose or something. So now we kind of hand tighten it to where it stays, and then we'll grab that right there, grab this right here, and we'll just give it a few turns. See, it swelled up. That rubbery piece did. Swelled up around there. That's staying put down. Now this is all done. So this will work with the Gallagher or a Tru-Test low bar. And we're going to give him about a foot. I'll give him a little bit more. Just something to work with. So he'll get this cable here. Is probably more than what he needs. But, then he'll strip it back a little ways back here. All the way around. Pull this black stuff off. And then peel away all that little fibrous crap, get that out of the way. Peel it back, snip it off, and they'll strip back a little bit off each one. And inside the cables on the low bars of the Gallagher and Tru-Test low bars, they're same color, red, black, green, white. So, well, I got one more to make for the guy, and then we're going to call him up, and he's already okayed me to do this, so I said I'd finish the second one. I'll call him up, get payment from him, and then he'll be... I'll ship these out today, and then he'll have them there in about 2-3 days. Maybe 4 days, depending on how long it takes to get. Most places are between 2 to 4 days to get to anywhere. So if you've got a cable or a connector that's been damaged by a cow's chewing on it, stepped on it, ran it over, I don't know, something yanked on by something, get a hold of me and we'll make you up a cable. You can text me, call me. Like I said, I don't think I'll need to know for certain is what model of low bar you have. If you're not sure, send me pictures of the low bar, and then like on the Tru-Test bars, if you have to take, if they're under a squeeze chute or the aluminum platform, you got to drop those bars down, or at least loosen up one end, pull it down, lift the corner of it up, and on the side of the bar, on like the big plate that's on the bar itself, on top or the side, it'll say the model, like MP600, HD1010, whatever. And if it's a Gallagher low bar, they've only got 2 different connectors for 3 different low bars, and out of those 2 different connectors, they're only wired 1 or 2 ways. So there's really, if you send me a picture of the low bar, I'll know which one you have. So that's not a big deal. I don't need to know the model number on that one, but the Tru-Test, I don't have those memorized. I'll need the model number, because they've got, look at this sheet I got here. We got 1, 2, 5 different pinouts for different low bars. So they're not all the same. So that's why I need to know what low bar you've got. So hopefully that helps you out. Hit us up anytime you need some help, and I'll be happy to help you out. Until next time, see you later.